Good morning, Science 20s. Today we're going to start physics, but before we can get into the material physics, we have to understand unit conversion. To understand unit conversion, we have a chart in our data booklet. This chart is located on page 1 of the data booklet. Now, this chart looks very complicated, but we're actually not going to use all of this table. We are going to concentrate mostly on kilometers, megameters, gigameters, terameters, and of course, millimeters. Now, I have put a box around this center unit that I believe is gray in your data booklet called common base units. This common base units is where anything without a prefix would fall. This is where we would find the meter, the gram, the liter, the mole, the joule, the Newton, all those units we've used before. Okay, now one of the things we have to realize is when we're going to convert using this chart, anytime we're going to go down this table, so let's pretend we're going to change from kilometers down to meters, we are going to ideally multiply. And anytime we move up the chart, for instance, from millimeters up to meters, we are going to divide on this chart. Now, given the units I have chosen, they all go by factors of 3. 10 to the 3, 10 to the 6, 10 to the 9, 10 to the 12, 10 to the 0, 10 to the negative 3, which means anytime I move down from one unit to the next one right below it, we are going to multiply by 1,000. Anytime we move up, we are going to divide by 1,000. Now, that is not true for every single one of these. However, remember, I'm not going to deal with centimeters. I'm not going to deal with decimeters. I'm not going to deal with decameters, and I'm not going to deal with hectometers. So everything I'm sticking to is a perfect 1,000 movement. So what I would like to do is do a couple examples with you, and then I'm going to have you try some for yourself. So I'm going to choose a new pen color here. I like blue. So 15 kilometers. So if I want to change 15 kilometers to meters, I am going to go from kilometers to my base unit, meters. I'm going to go down. Now, we know that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. I always put the unit I want to get my answer in when I'm done on the top. So I'm going to go times 1,000 meters. And I always divide by the unit I want to get rid of. So we know there's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So because I want to get rid of kilometers, I put it on the bottom so that I have kilometers on top, kilometers on bottom. They are going to cross out. Now when I take my calculator and I go 15 times 1,000, I'm going to have 15,000 meters. Let's try another one. We have 4,467 meters. So we are going to go from here, base unit meters, up to kilometers. Every time we go up, we divide by 1,000. So we're going up one step. We'll prove it to ourselves. There's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So since the unit I want to end with is kilometers, we're going to say 1 kilometer on top. Since I want to get rid of meters, I need to put meters on the bottom. So top, bottom. So there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. That's my connection. Meters on top, meters on bottom. And we're going to take 4,467. Because it's on bottom, we're going to divide by 1,000. And my answer is 4.467 kilometers. I want to compare these for a second. In both cases, we are showing that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. However, in this case, we put the 1,000 meters on top because I want my unit in meters. On this case, we put our 1,000 meters per 1 kilometer. We put our kilometers on top because I want my unit in kilometers. Whatever you want your unit in, place that on top and place the conversion factor on the bottom so that things like kilometers, kilometers can cancel out. Meters, meters can cancel out. Why don't you pause your video, try the next one for yourself. So 2.2 kilometers. So we're going to go from kilometers to meters, and then from meters to millimeters. So we know that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So now my kilometers cancel out. We also know that there are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter, right? Because we went from kilometer times 1,000 to get to meters times another 1,000 to get to millimeters. So every step we go, we multiply by 1,000. When we are finished, my answer should be 2,200,000 millimeters. Remember, 2.2 times 1,000 times another 1,000. Okay, well, let's try a couple more without me. So I've got your chart here for you. Again, Mr. Kemp's general rule is if we get rid of some of these, so I'm going to pick a better pen color. I am never going to use deci or centi or deca or hecto. Remember, when I go on this chart, when I go down it, so I'm moving from meters to millimeters, we multiply by 1,000. There's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. There's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. There's 1,000 kilometers in a megameter. You get the point? Okay, so we're going to go 3.3 meters. Now, the unit I want is millimeters, so I know there's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. So my answer is going to be 3,300 millimeters. Now, every time I go up on my table, I divide by 1,000. So to go from nanometers to micrometers, divide by 1,000. Micrometers to millimeters, divide by 1,000. Millimeters to meters, divide by 1,000. Well, I am going to go from meters to kilometers, so I am going to divide by 1,000. Or let's think of it like this. The unit I want when I'm done goes on top. So I know there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so I put my kilometers on top. I then put the unit I want to get rid of on the bottom. So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. 0.684 kilometers. And when we're doing this unit conversion factors, it always works the same for distances. Now, time is a little bit different. But the nice thing about time is we have a pretty good judge of time. We know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. There are 24 hours in 1 day. The extra bits that we don't know might be how many seconds, there are in 1 hour, or how many seconds there are in a day. And because they give this to us, again, on page 1 of your data booklet, we can use that valuable information. So I'm going to start with 3 hours, and I would like to turn it into minutes. Well, I think everybody knows that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. I am setting it up because I want my answer in minutes with minutes on top. I want to get rid of hours, so I'm putting it in the bottom. So I'm going to go 3 times 60 is 180. And 180 divided by 1 is still 180. So I'm left with 180 minutes. I think we all know, because time is something we can visualize. If I'm watching TV for 3 hours, that's going to be a lot of minutes. Okay, let's try another one. 432 seconds. changing it to minutes. Now, we know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, so I want to get rid of seconds, so I want to put the 60 seconds on the bottom. I want to put the 1 minute on the top. So I'm going to go 432 times 1 divided by 60. And I'm going to get 7.2 minutes. Again, lots of seconds means we're going to have a small number of minutes. The nice thing about time is we understand it. 270 seconds. Again, if it was me, I'd pause the video, try this one for yourself. Now, the nice thing is they tell us the conversion here. There's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, there's 3,600 seconds. The unit I want is hours. It goes on top. I'm going to get rid of my seconds. So 270 divided by 3,600. And the answer is very small, 0.075 hours. Again, try the last one for yourself. 2.5 hours. We know the connection between hours and seconds. So this time I'm going to put the seconds on top because that's what we're trying to find. 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. This time we're going to multiply across the top. 2.5 times 3,600. And my answer is 9,000 seconds. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at converting speeds. Now, converting speeds is a little bit harder. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to move the video here. I'm going to look at it first the mathematical way, then I'm going to look at the little quick cheat method up at the top. So we have 100 kilometers per hour that we're going to drive. We have to change to meters per second. So we know the conversion is there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Oh, I goofed that. Let's start that again. Even your teacher makes mistakes occasionally. So there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. And notice I set it up so that kilometers and kilometers are on two different levels so that they will cross out. Remember, my end goal is meters per second, so I have to put the meters on the top. To get rid of hours, I have to get rid of hours because I want to go to seconds. So again, I look at the conversion table, and the conversion table tells me that there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So I'm going to put the 1 hour on top so that top and bottom, they cancel. And I'm going to put the 3,600 seconds on the bottom. So hours on top, hours on bottom. In my calculator, I'm going to go 100 times 1,000 divided by, because it's on the bottom, 3,600. And my speed is 27.8 meters per second. So 100 kilometers per hour is the same as 27.8 meters per second. Now, there is another way we could do this. We could take 100 kilometers per hour, and if we look, if I want to go from kilometers per hour to meters per second, we divide by 3.6. I'm going to do it in my calculator just to prove it. 100 divided by 3.6. And I am going to again get 27.8 meters per second. Anytime we're converting from kilometers per hour or meters per second to kilometers per hour, anytime we're going back and forth, if we go from kilometers per hour to meter per second, we divide by 3.6. If we go from meters per second to kilometers per hour, we multiply by 3.6. Let's do the next example. So 50 kilometers per hour. It says I'm going to divide by 3.6. So again, I was doing it the old way. I'll do it this way with a little cheat. And my answer is 13.9 meters per second. I would like you to try the last one again using the cheat method in the corner. Because we're going from meters per second to kilometers per hour, we're going to multiply this time by 3.6. And we look like that is 30 kilometers per hour. So 8.3 meters per second is the same as 30 kilometers per hour. This is what you would drive in a school zone. Hopefully you found this pretty straightforward. You now get more practice on the unit conversion worksheet.